Let's talk about them, King. Let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. All right. Sacramento Kings are up next. So, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, DeLon Wright, Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox. Those guys are going to be back next year, pending trade. Now, that's the big key word is just, trade. Let's break it down. So, kind of address the elephant in the room. The Kings were like one of the absolute worst defenses in the league last year, like historically bad. So it's interesting to me how they'll try to improve that, because I'm going to be honest with you, De'Aaron Fox isn't like the greatest defensive player in the league, right? He's not great offensively. He's a good young player. Maybe he'll grow into a better defensive player. But like on-ball defense, I don't think Fox is the best. And then Rashawn Holmes, he kind of covered up a lot of mistakes that were made by the Kings. Like he was like their best defensive player. And I know like the best defensive player on like the worst team in the league defensively is like not the best thing, but still, I mean, he provided value there. And definitely kept that team afloat in that regard. So as we look at their cap sheet right here, we can see that a lot of money is owed to both Barnes and Hield, but also Fox's new contract kicks in this year as well. So Fox is now, in that realm of full max player. He's making like all-star type money. So Sacramento will now have to decide, like, how do we operate now? Because we have Harrison Barnes on the roster, we have Buddy Hield on the roster, and they're making a lot of money. Buddy Hield is actually on a back contract. He's on a contract that goes back, and he is that just a team friendly deal, right? So one thing I would say is that Buddy Hield, let's take a look here. Buddy Hield is probably the guy that everyone thinks is going to be traded. And right on cue, our boy King Queese says Buddy is gone for sure. For show. Yes, my personal opinion on the Kings is that I believe that, like, it's not like if they're going to make a trade, it's who are they going to get in a trade? Because if we're trying to question if they're going to make a trade, I think we're just not thinking right, because it's going to happen. Something will happen, because one interesting thing about the Kings is that they can't keep Rashawn Holmes and pay him more than like roughly what the mid-level exception is, which is like $9.5 to $10 million this year. They can't pay him more than that. I think it's like a bird rights issue. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look into it a little bit more, but they can't pay him more than like $10 million unless they can open up cap space. So if they really value Rashawn Holmes, then a move of Buddy Hield has to happen. Now, does Hield go and garner like a big return from a team? I don't know. Like I said, his contract is relatively team friendly because it's a backloaded contract or a front loaded contract. And then I think Harrison Barnes actually plays pretty solid with Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. So I actually imagine that he is going to be pretty good as far as a trade happens. I don't think Harrison Barnes is going to get dealt. But Barnes is most likely. Marvin Bagley has there's the whole crazy situation with him just not wanting to be here. I think it's Marvin Bagley's dad that was the one that was saying that like he doesn't want Bagley there and Bagley doesn't want to be there. It's kind of a mess in Sacramento, honestly. But Tyrese Halliburton was also a good bright spot for the team last year. I think he's a good player, and I was so shocked last year to watch him drop in the draft. I believe the Knicks passed on him, which I think is absolutely wild. But Halliburton dropping as much as he did, I was just shocked at, because everyone likes to talk about, LaMelo was the rookie of the year and Anthony Edwards had a breakout second half of the year. Halliburton just seemed like he just was NBA ready and was just ready to go. And, there were the questions of like, does he fit with Fox? And, they actually do kind of work together a little bit. So yeah, that's a big thing. The other key thing to kind of note about the free agency of the Kings this year, obviously Richaun Holmes, but then also Terrence Davis, who's going to be a restricted free agency, who's going to hit restricted free agency. He is, I think he is, they just gave him the qualifying offer. So he'll, officially be a restricted free agent. So yeah, that's kind of just a quick overview of this team. But let's look to see what their draft capital is, and then we'll get into some rumors. They have most of their picks moving forward. We will talk about it in a minute, but Ben Simmons is a guy who has been thrown around as like a potential guy that, the Kings would want to get involved with. I don't know if they have the capital, or if they have the ability to be able to trade for Simmons. But maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Sacramento has all their picks, and then the second picks are pretty much set. Okay. Let's move over to rumors. Yeah, there it is. Officially tendered the qualifying offer to Terrence Davis, making him a restricted free agent. Let's see. Trey Mann has been worked out by the team. The Kings continue to be active in shopping the number 9 pick, Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley, in separate trade scenarios per O'Connor. So I also wonder, exactly if they are going to move forward with maybe trying to package all those together. But if it's like 2 or 3 separate trades, maybe. But yeah, the 9th pick, Hield, Bagley, I think those guys are going to be gone, likely. Two of the 3. So we have a chat from Victo Buckets. Are you a Magic fan? I am not a Magic fan. I'm honestly just an NBA fan. Growing up and being younger and stuff, I was a big LeBron fan, but now not so much. And now I kind of just look at the league a little bit differently. But I love really just all teams in the NBA. I think there's something to root for every team. I remember the Magic's run. I was at a basketball camp. I remember watching the Magic play the Lakers in the finals. I think, what was that, 2012? 11, 12. But yeah, not a Magic fan, but I do appreciate the Magic. They are, one of my favorite, most obscure players in the NBA was actually Hedo Turkoglu. If you're a Magic fan, you'll get it. But yeah, so to kind of get back to the Kings, let's see here. Also, Victor, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be putting more videos out. If the Magic make a trade and when they draft, we're going to be covering that. My plan right now is to do a stream, maybe draft night, but for sure the morning after the draft. We'll do a stream and talk about just everybody's picks and kind of go from there. So if you want to hear more Magic content, it's coming up. And if they make a trade, more the reason to subscribe. Let's see here. Well, the Kings have the 9th pick. Continues to be views available. Kings are at 9 are considering a strong candidate for Wagner if they keep their pick. So there's Franz Wagner is potentially the pick for Sacramento if they keep it. Alperen Sengun worked for the Warriors, Kings, Spurs, Hornets, Magic, and the Thunder. Let's see. Kings have talked to the teams both East and West about Buddy Hield. who says the club has also received plenty of trade interest in Harrison Barnes. Woj would be surprised if Barnes is dealt, though. Yeah, I would too. I for sure would too. So yeah, there's that rumor of like the Lakers trying to get Buddy Hield, and like the trade being like Kyle Kuzma. I don't really see why the Kings would do that. I feel like unless they're like, I mean, I guess, you know, Luke Walton did coach Kuzma in LA when Walton was the Lakers coach. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like that probably is some of the reasoning behind the Kuzma interest from the Kings. Like Kuzma has rapport with the coach. You know, it's a younger team. He's a younger player. Maybe it works. The Lakers need shooting, and Hield could definitely add that. All right, that is it for the Kings. Thanks for everyone who went into the chat and chatted with me a little bit. We got a lot more here. We got like got a few more streams here to go. The next team up is the Charlotte Hornets. We'll talk about the Hornets in a little bit about Melo Ball. And kind of what they can do. They have some interesting places that they could go in the offseason. So we're going to end this stream. We're going to start a new one just in a few minutes. So stick with us, and